to have a chat to Ben Aylett, 1L, 2 T's in Aylett, benaylett.com. Also identified by his Hawaiian shirt in the studio live. Good evening.
Good evening, Chris. How are you going?
Doing all right. What's news in your world, in the technical world?
Well, what's in the technical world? We've got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's because I'm involved heavily with Red Piranha now, there's lots and lots of stuff about cybersecurity that we're covering. There are lots of exciting developments as well. So, the big deal at the moment is sovereign security and sovereign data. So a lot of Australian companies and government as well, they're looking a lot harder about where their security is coming from and where their information is being stored. And a big tick in the box is making sure that Australian data is kept within Australia.
Yes.
Because people are having a hard time trusting other companies with all the sort of turmoil that's going on around in the world. Everyone's saying, look, we'd rather trust our own than have to try and trust someone else's. So that's a really big push.
Why has it taken us so long to realise that? I mean, really, when you think about it, we're having kind of an obvious conversation here, aren't we? So why has it taken us so long to realise that actually we're having the obvious conversation because it's really obvious?
I think because previously we either really trusted what was going on, like, we had those big names that we trusted, your Amazon and your Microsoft and all the other ones, and it was just easy. But now we've had to stop and think and have a really tough conversation about what we're actually doing with our information and how we're looking after it and how the businesses that are looking after it are behaving with that information as well. So thankfully, the questions are being asked. And
the reason why a lot of this stuff is mishandled by businesses is because so many people responsible for handling it don't know the technology that they're handling. They don't realise they still have a mindset of, like you're handling a bunch of papers that you store in the corner, lock away in a filing cabinet, and it's safe. It's not like that anymore.
No.
There's a whole raft of areas, a whole raft of ways that people could obtain your information.
Exactly.
And the people who are responsible for that are still in the process of learning. People like yourself have understood it for a long time. But to be fair, people like yourself haven't been listened to. You have said it. You have been talking about it. It's not as though you've been silent, but nobody's been listening.
Only just in the last couple of weeks, there's been more and more talk about, wait for it, pass phrases instead of passwords. So, there's a lot of people.
But then you'd still end up with people doing stuff like the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, which would be an obvious one.
It would be an obvious one. And the trick is that a lot of computer systems these days, they're powerful enough to try 100 million passwords per second. So it's not hard for them to run through basically every permutation.
I've always thought that the random alphanumerics and symbols seem to work better, mainly because the number of combinations potentially is infinite. Can they be cracked? Yes, I understand they can be, but they're much harder. Let's put it this way. If you have a complicated password, what you're doing is you're saying to the hackers, we're not going to make your life easier. And they're going to go, what we'll do is we'll go and pick on the person who's got his wife's name backwards.
Yes. Yeah, and so they do. They go for the low-hanging fruit, which is always the common way. And that's how people get caught out, really.
They do. By the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, he's here and always willing to chat. Very chatty fellow, actually. 922-11882. So if you're looking at a piece of technology, you want to know something about it, or at the moment you're thinking of, I can kill you. Well, you don't, because you are financially going to regret it. Have a chat to Ben. Believe me, it'll feel really good when you take to the computer violently, but in the end you'll think to yourself, geez, that felt good, but now the bank balance is not going to feel good.
Oh, bugger. Yeah.
G'day, Jeff.
Greetings, team. Thanks for the opportunity.
Pleasure.
So how secure is Dropbox and or anyone else of a similar ilk then?
Okay. Dropbox, like any other cloud-based storage service, is only as safe as you make it. So it's, let's see, so don't reuse passwords. That's an obvious way for people to get things owned. Be very careful with what you do on your actual computer, because when you fall to a phishing email, it could be a phishing email trying to get access to Dropbox or another service, which could then link back to Dropbox itself. Is there a particular scenario that you're thinking of, mate?
Jeff wants to use Dropbox.
I was also thinking of your references to security of servers. So
Yep.
how secure are their servers as well then?
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, Dropbox, I probably wouldn't rate Dropbox as highly as Microsoft, for example. But, you know, it's still pretty secure. It's more secure than some of the other peer-to-peer file sharing, like the cloud services out there. I'd say it's in the top 5.
Okay.
But when you're storing
You're not
information,
convincing me that Jeff should really go down the path, though, Ben. I'm detecting massive reservations from your person.
I'm just not sure what sort of information Jeff is interested in storing on Dropbox.
So small business applications. I work off site for a client,
Yep.
and they're using Dropbox. They're going down that path increasingly. And I thought, I'll just ask the question.
Yeah,
Saying
okay.
that Microsoft might be a bit more secure, and I was just curious in relation to your references, as we all need to be aware of, the security of servers, whether they're in Turkmenistan or a server in Canberra.
Yeah, okay. Right, so what sort of information are they storing on Dropbox? So this is where we start getting into risk profiles.
So the question relates, Jeff, how confidential is the information that is being shared with you?
No, it's fairly reasonably confidential. It's business spreadsheeting and things like that.
Okay.
You've also got your MyObs and your QuickBooks of the world who and my own tax accounting software that want people to move to a cloud-based solutions as well.
Okay, now we're talking about something different, but we'll go back to the Dropbox and the storing of information. So there are things that I absolutely will not store on cloud services, and especially the likes of Dropbox. So that's medical records, financial, like sensitive financial information, intellectual property, just that really high-value stuff that if you lose the control of, life gets very, very difficult. For like things like quotes and all this sort of stuff that you won't really be too concerned if it does get out. That stuff is fine. But I would recommend, if you've got anything that is sensitive or potentially damaging information, yes, you can use a cloud-based service. Probably go for one of the more secure ones, which you can secure with 2-factor authentication. Before you upload it to any cloud service, have a think about encrypting it before it gets up there.
Okay, which you can do with Excel and things. So who are the others apart from Microsoft then, please, mate?
Microsoft, you've also got Amazon, but you've got to be careful because Amazon has to be configured correctly to work right. Google Drive, I know a lot of people like to sort of take a punt at Google because Google it's the all-knowing search service that freaks people out. They have actually got a pretty good attitude when it comes to security and making things simple and secure. So I would probably put Google on the same footing as Microsoft Office 365.
Okay, very good. Thanks for your advice.
No worries, mate, anytime. And look, just about the online accounting services, there's really not a great deal we can do. If you want to use Xero or MyOb, you kind of have to use their service. There's not really an offline version, but to their credit, they do understand the importance of the information they're keeping, and they do take the right steps.
Because in many cases, like MyOb's almost an industry standard, isn't it?
Yes,
they simply can't afford to take the risk, otherwise they could stuff their business.
Exactly. But if with the accounting software, the big 3 that I would encourage people to go for would be MyOb. There's also Quicken, but also my personal favourite, which is Xero. That's spelt Xero.
Xero.
Yes.
But pronounced zero.
Xero, yes.
All right, if you'd like to have a chat to this man, his name is Ben Aylett. BenAylett.com is the website. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett. 922 118 882 on his website, benaylett.com. You'll also find all of his contact information.
Be part of the John Hughes Rumour File for your chance to win $400 and go into the draw to win the luxurious MG ZS Essence. With John Hughes MG, it's the ultimate compact SUV featuring luxurious leather seating, panoramic sunroof, satellite navigation, push-button start, alloy wheels, reverse camera and sensors, and a 7-year warranty. Email rumourfile@6pr.com.au and listen out during breakfast weekdays. Thanks to John Hughes. Now, over 50 years in Victoria Park. Visit johnhughes.com.au. DL 6061.
This is it. The countdown is now on for the biggest lifetime discount on life cover ever at 50upclub.com. There are now just 4 days left to see if you can save on quality life insurance with this special offer for the over 50s. Move quickly to lock in a 22% lifetime discount on your fully underwritten My Protection Plan life cover issued by Noble Oak. That's 22% off for the life of the cover. Get a quote now at 50upclub.com before it's gone. Must end Friday, September 18. Any advice provided is general in nature and does not consider your personal circumstances. You should read the PDS to see if this product is right for you. Details on the website at 50upclub.com. That's 50upclub.com.
With smart alerts on a business transaction account from CommBank, I'm notified the moment I get paid. So now I know that I've got the funds, I can use the money to pay all these contractors. Cheers, Brian.
Woo! Thanks for that, Brian.
Good on you, Brian.
Get smart alerts with a business transaction account from CommBank so you can get on with business. And we can. Together. Consider the terms and conditions and other fees and charges at commbank.com.au/BTA terms.
At the Reject Shop, we're fighting for cheap every day, so you don't get ripped off on your weekly shop. Save on essentials like groceries, cleaning supplies, health and beauty products, and pet care. With the lowest prices on all your favourite big name brands, including Pepsi, Radiant, Morning Fresh, Schmackos, and Rexona. You spend a little and you get a lot more for your money. It's time to swap, shop, and save. The Reject Shop. Here to save.
Pool owners, 20% off store-wide. Save hundreds on all pool equipment. Face painting, sausage sizzle, giveaways and huge savings on pool heating. This Saturday is the summer startup sale at Southside Pool Services, 712 Ranford Road, Southern River.
Are you currently working in the mining industry and have experience with fixed plant and mineral processing? If you're looking for an attractive salary package with an even time roster, plus the comfort of drive-in, drive-out from Perth, then we would like to hear from you. Aluka Resources are now recruiting for experienced process operators to join their team at the Cataby mine site just inland from Lancelin. If you're ready for the next move in your career, head to Aluka Careers page at aluka.com/careers. Applications close Wednesday, 23 September.
This is where Perth talks at night with Chris Ilsley on Perth Tonight.
Ben, here's Roy.
Right.
Look, I'm interested in finding out about the new Samsung tablet. I'm one of the old-fashioned people that uses an actual camera.
Okay.
I transfer a lot of photos onto the external card on a Samsung,
Right.
which is very good. Now, I've ordered the new S7 Plus, which is great because it comes in 12.4-inch screen with a high-definition screen, and it comes with a large battery.
Right.
Now, the only drawback is it only comes in 5G.
Okay.
Now, am I able to just connect to 4G?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Yeah.
So-
Because I've heard conflicting things about 5G, and I really don't need it. I mean, I do use the internet.
Well, you live pretty close to the city. 5G is probably going to work quite nicely for you, Roy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, mate,
So
look, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists running around about 5G. Ignore them. Listen to what people like Ben are saying, mate. I'm telling you, when it comes to 5G, we are overrun with idiots and ill-informed morons. Don't listen to them.
Right.
Listen to people like Ben.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I pre-ordered it, so it should arrive any time now.
Oh, I bet you're excited.
And it's through Optus, so
Okay.
I mean, my old Samsung is a good one, and it was on 4G.
Uh-huh.
So if I just connect, if 5G is available, it'll automatically go onto there, will it? Or
Yeah, that's the way it usually works. So a 5G enabled device means that it will handle everything up to 5G.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the other services, if 5G is not available, it goes and looks for, to put it in simple terms, Roy, the next best available option.
Right.
Yep. Which is still pretty good.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good. Then.
Yeah.
Will it cost me extra, like to?
It depends on the
pay for
plan.
this?
Yeah, there are some telcos out there that will be charging a premium for access to 5G speeds.
Do you know what Optus are going to be doing? Because that's where it'll be.
Yeah, off the top of my head, if
you wanted to, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't just connect to 4G, is there?
No, there's no reason whatsoever.
I mean, all that would happen then is the 5G service, which is faster, wouldn't be available to you. But if you're worried about the cost, Roy, you just simply ask to maintain the service you got now.
Yeah, I'm going to a mate of mine is the IT guy at Harvey Norman's at Kennington, so I'll ask him when I get it. I should come any day now.
Excellent. Yeah, look, if you have to pay extra for 5G and if you don't want to pay for it, you simply don't pay for it, and you don't get 5G, but you'll get 4G, LTE, and 3G.
Yeah, because I find it quite adequate. The 4G. I mean,
you'll be fine.
I don't want anything terribly fast. It's just that the Samsung is great for storing the photos and showing the photos.
Yes, yeah, they are. They're really good. They've
So
actually
many
got a really
people
good
have
screen, haven't they?
had a look at my photos on the Samsung and have gone out and bought themselves a camera.
Oh, there you go.
Because you take the photos with the camera and then load them to your machine, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Everyone
And the way
tells
I've
me
got
if
it
you're
set up
serious
is-
about photography, you're still using an old-fashioned camera.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I've got the best, but I've got the whole system set up where as soon as I capture it onto the Samsung, it automatically goes onto my phone as well. And I've got a son who lives in Singapore, so I can attach the photos to the WhatsApp.
Yep.
Which is really handy.
It is. It's great, isn't it?
It certainly is. Hey, Roy, thank you very much for that and good luck with that. Sounds like you've also got yourself well organised. You know about your photos, using the true digital camera because he's serious about photography, and everyone tells me if you're serious about photography, you use, in inverted commas, a real camera.
That's right.
You don't use your phone or you don't use your tablet, which Roy is not doing. So good on him. Good luck with that one, Roy.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, and also find those photographs will load faster if you run 5G too.
They will.
Yeah.
Not that photos take up a lot of room, really.
Not now. They used to at one time. They don't now, do they?
Yeah, it's the videos that kill you. It's always the videos.
Are they getting better or not really?
No. They're actually getting worse because we're getting bigger sensors that can take like a higher frame rate video. So instead of the old 1080p or 1920 or just a nice high definition video at say 20 frames a second or 25 frames a second, we're now able to capture 60 frames a second at 4K.
At what point? I'll give you an example. Years ago, one of my nerdy mates, I have several nerdy mates, and one of my nerdy mates built his own home stereo system. I'm telling you right now, this was the most outstanding system you have ever seen.
Awesome.
Right? It was unbelievably good. He built it at home using a project.
All right.
And he proudly announced to me that he'd done a test, which he had, and he said, mate, this frequency response on this device is flat from, and I quote, 5 hertz to 150 kilohertz. And he proved it, and I said, great, your dog is really wrapped. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, most of those frequencies only your dog can hear.
Exactly.
And maybe the rats in the roof, but you can't hear it. He said, what do you mean? I said,
no,
you're not going to hear 150 kilohertz. I said, if you're lucky, you'll hear 20 kilohertz. Chances are you won't because most adults can't.
Yep.
You'll perceive 15. And he's sort of looking at me and he's saying,
bugger,
this frequency response is not really necessary. And I said, no. However, see Fido over there, he's wrapped. Right? I'm telling you right now, the doors sound much better to Fido.
Oh, yeah.
But you, not so much. And what that was, I suppose, as much as anything, that's something that was overbuilt. So the question I'm asking in relation to that, at what point do we start to create pictures that are clearer than we can visually perceive? Much the same as we can create audio with frequency responses we can't hear. Are we potentially going to create pixels, for want of a better word, that'll create a quality that we literally can't see?
Yeah, I think we're getting
Geez, we
to
need
that
someone
point,
medical
but
to to tell us that, wouldn't we?
We are getting close to that point. So that was, and that comes down to the actual displays. So not so much what we're capturing, but how we're displaying it. So the display, so a lot like the Apple Retina display when that first came out, they said that the pixels are so small and so close together, you can hold it right up to your face and you can have a hard time finding the separate pixels, those separate points of light making up the picture. Since then, we've gone to 4K, even 5K screens. So, yeah.
Is there that point where we just simply won't be able to perceive the improvement? It'll be there.
Yep.
You'll be able to have a machine that can demonstrate the improvement, but we will not be able to visually perceive it.
It could get to that point, yes, where we might have trouble perceiving that particular improvement. Yeah, I don't know. That's a funny one.
We might have to talk to an ophthalmologist about that. Find out where the limit is.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically there is one, but I just don't know. Sounds much more easy to define.
Yeah, and
pictures and how we perceive them, it's really hard to define.
I guess it would be, yeah. So it's a weird one.
I mean, I can play you 20 kilohertz tone and say, can you hear it? And you say yes or no.
Yeah.
Well, if you can hear it, fine. If you can't, fine. It's very, very black and white. It's easily demonstrated.
Yes.
If we start to talk about what do you perceive visually, I think that becomes harder.
Yeah. Yep.
Much harder. I see that Amazon has recently updated Alexa, I should say, with a new feature that lets people print to-do lists, recipes and more with nothing more than a quick voice command.
Yeah, this is pretty genius stuff. So we've now got the Alexa or the Amazon Echo, which is it's able to actually go out on your network and find a printer, and that in its own is a massive task.
So does that mean if you have a printer that's got Wi-Fi in the house, it'll go, oi, we've got some work for you?
Yeah, give us some details. And the printer says, yes, I'm this sort of printer and I can do these things. Send me stuff. And so, the Alexa will then start shooting things like, these PDFs or spreadsheets or lined paper or whatever. Now, that's part of the genius bit. The other part of it, this is something that a lot of people don't pick up on.
Wait, there is more.
There is more, but this is more of a thing for Amazon than it is for us. Well, we do get a benefit out of it.
Yep.
But because the Alexa or the Echo knows the printer, it also knows how much toner and how much paper the printer has, because the printer is reporting this back to the Echo. And you know what sort of business that Amazon is in, and that's selling things to people.
That's right.
Things
so
like,
guess what? We can sell you some more ink
and paper. So you could have your Echo.
Could you end up having an argument with your Echo? Listen, I don't care how low it is, just print.
Yeah. Look, I just want black and white. That's all. Nope, sorry, you've got to order some cyan before we print out black and white. So it'll give that annoying printer a voice, but at least you'll get an idea of when things are about to run out. So you can say, Echo device, go order the toner for it. You don't have to know the make and the model of the toner you need to get. It will already know.
Because the Echo will know.
Yeah. So it's a great thing for
Geez, I can see some people having an argument. Listen, mate, we can get 2 more weeks out of that. No, order now.
That's right. I can take the toner out and give it a bit of a shake and I'll be good for another week.
Yeah, which in most cases it will. Ben, as always, your time is much appreciated. Thank you very much for dropping in.
Always a ball.
Yeah, we might have to give that a whirl, that thing with the Alexa, and see how it goes. Yeah. BenAylett.com is a website. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett.
West Coast gave themselves a